051. Latin.
In girum imus nocte et consumimur igni.
Translation, we enter the circle at night and are consumed by fire. Notes, a palindrome said to describe the behavior of moths. Also the title of a film by Guy Debord.
注：一个回文正读反读都能读通的句子，据说用来描述飞蛾的行为，也是居伊德波一部电影的名称。
052. Latin.
In harmonia progressio.
Translation, progress in harmony. Notes, motto of Bandung Institute of Technology, Indonesia.
注：印度尼西亚万隆理工学院的校训。
053. Latin.
In hoc sensu, or, in sensu hoc.
Translation, in this sense. Notes, recent academic abbreviation for in this sense.
注：在这个意义上的最新学术缩写。
054. Latin.
In hoc signo vinces.
Translation, by this sign you will conquer. Notes, words Constantine the Great claimed to have seen in a vision before the Battle of the Milvian Bridge.
注：君士坦丁大帝声称在米尔维安大桥战役前曾在异象中看到的话。
055. Latin.
In hunc effectum.
Translation, for this purpose. Notes, describes a meeting called for a particular stated purpose only.
注：描述一个仅为特定目的召开的会议。
056. Latin.
In ictu oculi.
Translation, in the blink of an eye. 057. Latin.
In illo ordine.
Translation, in that order. Notes, recent academic substitution for the spacious and inconvenient, in that order, respectively.
注：学术上的最新替代，为了避免冗长和不便的 in that order, respectively.
058. Latin.
In illo tempore.
Translation, in that time. Notes, at that time, found often in gospel lectures during masses, used to mark an undetermined time in the past.
注：在那时，常出现在弥撒期间的福音讲座中，用于标记过去的某个未确定的时间。
059. Latin.
In inceptum finis est.
Translation, in the beginning is the end. Notes, or, the beginning foreshadows the end.
注：或开始预示着结束。
060. Latin.
In limine.
Translation, at the outset or threshold. Notes, preliminary, in law, a motion in limine is a motion that is made to the judge before or during trial, often about the admissibility of evidence believed prejudicial.
注：即初步，在法律上 ，motion in limine 是在审判前或审判期间向法官提出的动议，通常是关于被认为有失偏颇的证据的可采性。
061. Latin.
In loco.
Translation, in the place, on the spot. Notes, that is, on site. For example, the nearby labs were closed for the weekend, so the water samples were analyzed in loco.
注：也就是现场。例如，附近的实验室周末关闭，所以在现场对水样进行了分析。
062. Latin.
In loco parentis.
Translation, in the place of a parent. Notes, assuming parental or custodial responsibility in authority, for example, schoolteachers over students, a legal term.
注：承担作为父母的或监护的责任和权利，例如，学校教师对于学生，一个法律术语。
063. Latin.
In luce tua videmus lucem.
Translation, in thy light we see light. Notes, motto of Valparaiso University in Indiana. The phrase comes from the book of Psalms 36 line 9, for with you is the fountain of life, in your light we see light.
注：印第安纳州瓦尔帕莱索大学的校训。 本句出自诗篇第36篇第9行，因为生命的源头与你同在，在你的光中我们看到了光。
064. Latin.
In lumine tuo videbimus lumen.
Translation: In your light we will see the light. Notes: Motto of Columbia University and Ohio Wesleyan University. Also, it is the motto of the South African University of Fort Hare.
注：哥伦比亚大学和俄亥俄卫斯理大学的校训。此外，它也是南非哈尔堡大学的校训。
065. Latin.
In manus tuas commendo spiritum meum.
Translation: Into your hands I entrust my spirit. Notes: According to Luke chapter 23 line 46, the last words of Jesus on the cross.
注：根据路加福音第23章第46行，耶稣在十字架上的最后一句话。
066. Latin.
In medias res.
Translation: Into the middle of things. Notes: From Horace. Refers to the literary technique of beginning a narrative in the middle of, or at a late point in, the story, after much action has already taken place. Examples include the Iliad, the Odyssey, Os Lousiadas, Othello, and Paradise Lost. Compare ab initio.
注：出自赫拉斯，指的是从故事的中间或后期开始叙述的文学技巧，在那之前很多行动都已经发生。例如《伊利亚特》、《奥德赛》、《卢季塔尼亚人之歌》、《奥赛罗》和《失乐园》。参见 ab initio。
067. Latin.
In memoriam.
Translation: Into the memory. Notes: Equivalent to in the memory of. Refers to remembering or honoring a deceased person.
注：相当于 in the memory of， 指纪念已故的人。
068. Latin.
In natura.
Translation: In nature. 069. Latin.
In necessaris unitas, in dubis libertas, in omnibus caritas.
Translation: In necessary things unity, in doubtful things liberty, in all things charity. Notes: Charity, caritas, is being used in the classical sense of compassion, compare agape. Motto of the Kartelverband der Katholischen Deutschen Studentenverbindung. Often misattributed to Augustine of Hippo.
注： charity 被用于 compassion 的古典意义，作为天主教德国学生兄弟会联盟的标语，经常被误认为出自于希波的奥古斯丁。
070. Latin.
In nocte consilium.
Translation: Advice comes overnight. Literally, the night brings advice, source of the English expression, sleep over it. Notes: That is, tomorrow is a new day, motto of Birkbeck College, University of London.
注：即明天是新的一天，伦敦大学伯贝克学院的校训。
071. Latin.
In nomine diaboli.
Translation: In the name of the devil. 072. Latin.
In nomine Domini.
Translation: In the name of the Lord. Notes: Motto of Trinity College, Perth, Australia, the name of a 1050 papal bull.
注：澳大利亚珀斯三一学院的校训，1050年教宗诏书的名字。
073. Latin.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti.
Translation: In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Notes: Invocation of the Holy Trinity.
注：祈求三位一体。
074. Latin.
In nuce.
Translation: In a nut. Notes: In a nutshell, briefly stated, potential, in the embryonic phase.
注：简而言之，简要说明，潜在的，在胚胎阶段。
075. Latin.
In odium fidei.
Translation: In hatred of the faith. Notes: Used in reference to the deaths of Christian martyrs.
注：用于指代基督徒殉道者的死亡。
076. Latin.
In omnia paratus.
Translation, ready for anything. Notes, motto of the United States Army's 18th Infantry Regiment.
注：美国陆军第18步兵团的训言。
077. Latin.
In omnibus amare et servire Domino.
Translation, in everything, love and serve the Lord. Notes, the motto of Ateneo de Iloilo, a school in the Philippines. 078. Latin.
In omnibus requiem quaesivi, et nusquam inveni nisi in angulo cum libro.
Translation, everywhere I have searched for peace and nowhere found it, except in a corner with a book. Notes, from Thomas A. Kempis.
注：出自托马斯·肯皮斯。
079. Latin.
In ovo.
Translation, in the egg or in the embryo. Notes, an experiment or process performed in an egg or embryo, for example, in ovo-electroporation of chicken embryo.
注：在鸡蛋或胚胎中进行的实验或过程，例如鸡胚胎的卵内电穿孔。
080. Latin.
In pace ut sapiens aptarit idonea bello.
Translation, in peace, like the wise man, make preparations for war. Notes, Horace, Satires Book 2 Satire 2 line 111, similar to.
Si vis pacem, para bellum.
And.
Igitur qui desiderat pacem, praeparet bellum.
注：出自赫拉斯的讽刺诗集第2卷第2篇第111行，类似于
Si vis pacem, para bellum.
和
Igitur qui desiderat pacem, praeparet bellum.
081. Latin.
In pace requiescat.
Translation, in peace may he rest. Notes, found in this form at the end of the Cask of Amontillado by Edgar Allan Poe. Alternate form of requiescat in pace, let him rest in peace.
注：出现在埃德加·艾伦坡的一桶阿蒙蒂亚度酒结尾处
Requiescat in pace.
的另一种形式。
082. Latin.
In pari materia.
Translation, upon the same matter or subject. Notes, in statutory interpretation, when a statute is ambiguous, its meaning may be determined in light of other statutes on the same subject matter.
注：在法规解释中，当法规有歧义时，可以参照同一标的的其他法规确定其含义。
083. Latin.
In partibus infidelium.
Translation, in the parts of the infidels. Notes, in the land of the infidels, used to refer to bishoprics that remains as titular sees even after the corresponding territory was conquered by Muslim empires.
注：在异教徒的土地上，用于指即使在相应的领土被穆斯林帝国征服后，仍然作为名义上的主教辖区。
084. Latin.
In pectore.
Translation, in the heart. Notes, a cardinal named in secret by the Pope. See also ab imo pector.
Abimo pectore.
085. Latin.
In personam.
Translation, into a person. Notes, directed towards a particular person.
注：针对特定的人。
086. Latin.
In posse.
Translation, in potential. Notes, in the state of being possible, as opposed to in esse.
注：在可能的状态下，与
In esse.
相对。
087. Latin.
In propria persona.
Translation, in one's own person. Notes, for oneself, for the sake of one's personhood, acting on one's own behalf, especially a person representing themselves in a legal proceeding. See also litigant in person, pro se legal representation in the United States.
注：为某人自身，为某人的人格，代表自己行事，尤其是在法律程序中代表自己的人。另见
litigant in person.
和美国的。
Prose legal representation.
088. Latin.
In principio erat verbum.
Translation, in the beginning was the word, logos. Notes, beginning of the Gospel of John.
注：约翰福音的开头。
089. Latin.
In re.
Translation, in the matter of. Notes, a legal term used to indicate that a judicial proceeding may not have formally designated adverse parties or is otherwise uncontested. The term is commonly used in case citations of probate proceedings, for example, in Re Smith's estate. It is also used in juvenile courts, as, for instance, in Re Galt.
注：一个法律术语，用于表示司法程序可能没有正式指定反方或在其他方面没有争议。该术语通常用于遗嘱认证程序的案例引用，例如
In re Smith's estate.
它也用于少年法庭，例如
In re Galt.
090. Latin.
In rebus.
Translation, in the thing itself. Notes, primarily of philosophical use to discuss properties and property exemplification. In philosophy of mathematics, it is typically contrasted with
Ante rem.
and, more recently,
Post res.
structuralism. Sometimes in re is used in place of in rebus.
注：主要用于讨论属性和属性势力的哲学用途。在数学哲学中，它通常与 anti-rem 以及较晚的 post-res 结构主义形成对比。有时 in re 用于代替 in rebus。
091. Latin.
In regione cecorum rex est luscus.
Translation, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. Notes, a quote of Desiderius Erasmus from Adagia.
注：引用自德西德里乌斯·伊拉斯谟的格言集。
092. Latin.
In rem.
Translation, to the thing. Notes, legal term indicating a court's jurisdiction over a piece of property rather than a legal person, contrast with personal jurisdiction. C.
In rem.
Jurisdiction.
Quasi in rem.
Jurisdiction.
注：一个法律术语，表明法院对于某个财产而非某个法人的管辖权，与属人管辖权形成对比。参见对物管辖权、准对物管辖权。
093. Latin.
In rerum natura.
Translation, in the nature of things. Notes, see also Lucretius de rerum natura, on the nature of things.
注：另见卢克莱修的
De rerum natura.
论事物的本质。
094. Latin.
In retentis.
Translation, among things held back. Notes, used to describe documents kept separately from the regular records of a court for special reasons.
注：用于描述因特殊原因与法庭常规记录分开保存的文件。
095. Latin.
In saecula. In saeculum saeculi.
Translation, roughly, down to the times of the times. Notes, forever and ever, liturgical. 096. Latin.
In saeculo.
Translation, in the times. Notes, in the secular world, especially outside a monastery, or before death.
注：在世俗世界中，有指在修道院外或在死亡之前。
097. Latin.
In salvo.
Translation, in safety. 098. Latin.
In scientia et virtue.
Translation, in knowledge and virtue. Notes, motto of St. Joseph's College, Colombo, Sri Lanka. 099. Latin.
In se magna raunt.
Translation, great things collapse of their own weight. Notes, Lucan, Pharsalia Book 1 line 81.
注：出自卢坎的法沙利亚第一卷第81行。
100. Latin.
In situ.
Translation, in the place. Notes, in the original place, appropriate position, or natural arrangement.
注，在原来的地方，适当的位置或自然的安排。